disappointment. Now the vice president often tell me, since he got a seat as vice president, how many persons have I recommended in this government to serve in the government as presidential appointee? Zero. Every appointment in Nima County was done by him. He and I would discuss something as a brother. To implement it, you will bypass me and do different things. I better keep it. I don't talk on it.
Now you need to deceive us. The thing we saw, it frustrate us. So why can't you lie? Why can't you steal? Why can't you allow the citizens to be? You see, we just tell you that why we vote tell you. But you fool us, you screw us, you use us and later on abuse us. So why? The government makes you lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask.
The good person in our whole United Party, that President Bwaka. You want to say that again? The only person that appreciate good among all the United Party for that President Bwaka. The rest are ungrateful. The right, they use you and dumb you. But President Bwaka, if all of them were thinking the President Bwaka and behaving the President Bwaka, United Party will have another chance in 2029. Just for now, they do not regard people that help them. I'm not.
Of our soldiers were executed on this party ground. 2 at the back and 1 right at the headquarters. The man who shot and killed our people today is a darling boy in the Liberian National Police. They brought him back to shoot more guns. Get ready to shoot. Because we challenge the status quo appropriately.
Inform them the violence or any student because of their action. It will be the day the entire Bwaka administration will cut down. We will massively violate the students in this country and will shut down the Bwaka administration. The day that happens, we have the capability to do so. And if they think this renovation project is a joke, let them try it. The fall of the Bwaka administration begins with this. If they think they will tumble on any student in this country or at the university like going and walk away with impunity, while our children saving opponents and logic in the Western world, while we are subjected to agile poverty and bad learning conditions here, and the thing will say. In
the first 100 days, no car will get stuck on a major road in this country. And I mean it.
It's going down. First floor. There you have it.
That led to decades of war still run deep. But so too does the longing for reconciliation. A reconciliation defined not by political bargaining or by an artificial balance of power by tribe, region, religion, or ethnicity, but by the equality of opportunity and a better future for all Liberians.
Bwaka can lie, the government, all the ministers in the government, they can lie. They don't put all hustler, they put a hustler, they lie. Everything they say, they never say the truth.
Today, the supporters of His Excellency Joseph Bwaka presents him as a poor man from Lofa, and I said that he will understand the plight of the poor people. Fellow Liberians, do not be fooled. Vice President Bwaka is not poor like you, not even as me. As Vice President, his office received more money from the government budget than any other Vice President has received in Liberia's history. He has enjoyed some of the best and most lucrative government jobs.
First of all, there's this, what I call sort of vicious lie about the fact that Mr. Pewee is gay or bring gay lifestyle to Liberia. It's complete bullshit. When people can accuse you of stealing people's money, when they can accuse you of being involved in the war, anything, people don't make up stuff. They don't make up shit. Excuse my language, right? So it's complete nonsense. I'm married, 8 Teresa, 2 children, 5 grandchildren. I believe in traditional family values, so it's complete bullshit, complete nonsense.
Your man, vice president, your man that vice president, the major stole 500,000. I mean, Jamaica, the major went to I forget that Jamaica. The majors went to Ghana, the fit, and they may bring it all company in the country. I mean, Kun can reach yourself. Kun man, you know, Kun, but I want to sophisticated, quiet, hardcore rule in Labro. But Labro,
when 2029 come and pass, then you finally leave. Mission is completed. Now, what the rules of engagement? When the war ended, the guy said, the captain, the commander said, mission complete. There wounded outwards, all men on board.
Everywhere there is no school, I will put school. And everywhere there is school and school in bad condition, I will renovate it. I told them, towns and villages, everywhere you will have lights in a town for children to play and people to see. I told them, every town will have safe drinking water.
If Charles Taylor is the problem, he will be out of here in the twinkle of an eye. And I say, let well-meaning Liberians come home. If we respect this constitution, a government formed in Accra is a violation of Article 1 of the Constitution. Let them come home. Let that government be formed in Monrovia.
The government that capital road, small there, road, B road, all kinds of dialogue. I think the reason Joseph Baka will not do much because the old man, the papa is suffering. The papa loves the country, but he can't make it. The criminal there around him, they sophisticated than him. They are sophisticated criminals, so they can't make it.
Your league Costa, God know how to pay people. It's just simple. Costa that accused everybody here but himself. Everybody, Joe, we join, we accuse Joe, he killed Joseph Baka. Baka still living. Joe, no, you leave my brother. He made me senator. He almost made Joseph Baka president until he screwed up. We gave God the glory. Yeah. Well, Baka, when he screwed, he said, oh, we don't want to make sure we will fought for him to be reconciled with the president. And then the people who fought for him. Look, your league Costa, you will come. And Costa was in a podcast, he said, they don't been calling me. Okay. The time you were calling me for me to kind of Bwaga, did I put it on radio? That immaturity to do what you're talking about.
And I guarantee you, when we finish, there will not be a winner or the loser. Today we all wear the jersey of Liberia, and the victory belongs to the people, to the peace and to our democracy. As we begin to build upon the foundation of this new Liberia, I, George Seleke Kromah, the new president, will first give thanks and praises to the Almighty God for the blessing He has bestowed upon our country. And I say, my people, thank you,
We elect on 85 irresponsible men what happened to our country. We elect on 85 irresponsible men to govern this country, not to be very irresponsible.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today is Friday. We call it Good Friday, the last day of our week. The working poor. Today is the final day for us to get a break. For us to now go home for the next 2 days, at least spend some time with your loved ones and your families and friends, your fraternities and your sororities. This is your day. Today is Friday, June the 26th. You know, the month have already ended. And the good folks of Zwedru, Honorable J.D. Williams, is turning to let us know that The city of Zwedru is on fire. Everybody is now headed to Zwedru. All roads lead to Zwedru. If you want to see the leader of the CFC, Honorable Hassan Musa Bilite is going to be in Zwedru. The leader of the ANC, Honorable Alexander Cummings, will be the keynote speaker in Zwedru. Honorable Ure is also going to be in Zwedru. The former Associate Justice Kabina Janet is going to be in Zwedru. So if you wanted to be seen, Zwedru, I think, is the place to be. But let's go to the World Cup. Senegal has sneaked into the second round. They defeated Iraq 5-0. Everybody here in the United States are saying Senegal is the team that nobody wants to meet. Senegal is like a wounded lion. Nobody wants to play or meet them in the second round. These guys are the legitimate champions of Africa. These guys can ball. Nobody wants to meet them in the second round. What's about Africa darlings? Cape Verde or Cabo Verde. They are still there. They are about to sneak into the second round. Ghana is into the second round. Morocco is into the second round. South Africa sneaked into the second round. I mean, the worst thing that would happen to soccer is allowing more African teams to get into the World Cup. These guys do not respect big people. These guys do not respect big people. Names do not intimidate them anymore. Status do not intimidate them anymore. In these World Cup, the worst loser of all is a gentleman from the English team by the name of Harry Kane. After Ghana brought them to their knees to do what every sportsman would have done, to thank the other team and say, great game, great strategy. Harry Kane went on air and said these words: countries like these, all they want to do is delay, hold the ball, play defense, and don't want to win. Countries like these, this is a white, racist, incompetent loser, a man who was demoted to Tottenham Spurs, talking to another professional team, another professional country, a country like these, meaning that country like Ghana, these people do not belong. They shouldn't be here. This is how disgusting Harry Kane has come. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. Useless, racist, incompetent. And a man who is in denial, just like the Kingdom of Great Britain. You are in decline. You are losing everything that is Britain. At one time, they said the sun rises and sets on the crown of Great Britain. Not anymore. The sun is not rising anymore. The sun is setting on the British Empire. And the Ghana Black Star made it known. Today is not your day, and we will never, under no circumstance, will we allow you to come here and claim your superiority complex. Come here with your colonial fervors. They couldn't crack the Ghanaian defense. They couldn't score after they have been tapped as one of the favorites to win it all. Hurricane, I don't know if you're going to ever have any reasonable black person from Africa that will support you for who you are. You are a loser. You are a racist. You are incompetent. You are in decline. And decline you will be, and Africa will rise to the top. Let me welcome the great Johnny Debbie from the great state in the United States. I thought we call it counties, it's a state. Well, maybe it's not a state anymore because it has been taken over and colonized by Guinea. So Lofa is not a full state. We got to rename Lofa. Maybe Login. Lofa and Guinea combined, Login. So, Johnny, you are now a citizen of Login. So you are Loginian. Loginian. You are Loginian. Welcome to the show, Johnny. Loginian, Johnny KM.
No, I am still a Liberian. Our government is working according to them in the back diplomatically to resolve the issue with the Guinean occupation of the bank of the Makona River on the Liberian side, where they have deployed their military personnel and the rest of it. For what reason, we don't know, because we have not been informed by our government about the intent and purpose of the Guinean crossover to occupy that portion of the land across the Makona River. So we are living in Lofa, state part of Liberia, but we cannot venture around the areas where Guineans have occupied because the borders are still closed in our community. But let me say thank you, Mr. Gayman, for keeping this show running. You doing very well as a chief moderator. And let me also appreciate our committed, dedicated, and sincere followers and listeners to the closing argument. And this argument is about you. I will hope that one of these days we have our committed followers participating on the show, even being engaged with guests through being on the show or even through phone call, giving them time to participate because they are ready and they're committed and following the show all the time. So yeah, Mr. Gayman, thank you for the conversation that you started regarding the soccer game. I'm hoping that all of the teams from Africa that will be taking part in this second round, the group of 32, will play consistently. They will improve their playing pattern so that they can all qualify for the next round and see how Africa will show up in the grand finals. I'm hoping that one of the African teams will show up, or probably even two teams will show up for the grand final, because I'm sitting here imagining how the African spirit is in all the teams. For the fact that they have gone this level, I can imagine how they will play so strong, so they'll be so passionate about playing the way that they will beat anyone that comes their way. Even if their own fellow African teams meet them, they will be like dealing with each other like nobody can even imagine. So I mean, that's it. And I want to appreciate God for all of them. South Africa, Ghana, Senegal today game, Morocco, Egypt, Cape Verde, I hope today they will win that game or tomorrow. So hopefully I'm going to see all of them are going. I'm happy for the first round of games, last night, the great USA did not win Turkey. Turkey beat them 3-2. But again, they qualify for the next round with our Liberian brothers, Liberian kids, our Liberian children playing for them. So thank you, Mr. Gayman. We hope that, in fact, one lesson I'm learning from this game, Mr. Gayman, and then the lesson I want to share with Liberians is that we see that almost all the European teams are carrying probably around 60-70% of the players are blacks, are Africans, right? So in my analysis, this is tell us that in as much as Europeans who came on the continent 200, 400 years ago, colonized, put under slavery, can recognize that despite your color or where you come from originally, you can play for their team is because they want result. So in this case, I want to direct this into Liberian politics. In as much as the Europeans, you can see that France is almost 90% black. England, that played a lot of the same thing. Portugal, Spain, who else? Even the US, the England, all of them, right?
The Netherlands.
The Netherlands. Canada, exactly, right? I mean, all the European teams that would have said, we don't care, everyone will think like us, who think like Liberia. I don't care what you do, I'm UP, I'm CBC, I'm this person, not about looking at the greater interest of the state in determining who becomes the leader of the country. That means you want result. So for the Europeans, they want result. So they don't care your color, your religion, wherever you come from. In how much you are part of their system, you will play for that team because they want result. So for all Liberians, my lesson I learned from here, I want to share all about it, is that if we want result for Liberia, let us not be tribal, religious, regional. Let's be about quality and demanding for result that will benefit us now and for the future. So that's my, pick from this thing. And I hope that Liberian will think twice and let's see what we can do with it. Let's learn from this World Cup situation and see how we can apply the World Cup scenario in our political space, our political decision making.
Well, guys, if you want to talk about what Johnny had just said, we're going to have today, it's Friday, it's open Friday. It's open, we're going to talk. You can call the number, we'll put a number up, there go the numbers. If you are in Liberia, the number to call is 777-649-986. Anytime during the show, you can call and discuss issues. But usually by 7 o'clock, we usually open the line, which is a time for you to call. But like we say, if anything catch your heart and you want to talk about it before it go too far and lose your train of thought, you can always interrupt. There's nothing wrong with that. Pick up the phone and call 777-649-986. That is the number in the Republic of Liberia. And if you want to call in the United States, your WhatsApp number will be the same. It's +1 856-676-5136 or +1 772-940-2871. You can call anytime, talk about any issue in your neighborhood, in your hometown, in your city, or anything that is important to you that we have not covered and we should cover. If there's something happening in your neighborhood and you want to alert the whole world about it, let us know and we are going to make sure that everybody hears about it. Now, if you are on top of the news, you want to talk about drugs, you want to talk about soccer, you want to talk about the CDC convention, not convention, the celebration in Zwedru. You can talk about that too. If you want to talk about the bridge that collapsed miraculously in Grand Bassa, 4 women using the bridge to cross from Painsbury, and the bridge washed right under their feet, collapsed. If you do not believe in miracle, you should see the photograph and the video. How great God is. These 4 women would not have been around for us to tell this story. You go online, you will see the video. It is an incredible video. In journalism, there's a group of folks that specialize in something called photojournalism. They do not speak, they do not write. They speak and write by the images that they capture. Some of the images, they don't need to say a word. Same thing about this video from Grand Bassa County. That bridge collapsing. When the woman lifted her last foot and put it on the other side of the bridge, the whole bridge collapsed right under her. The journalist that took that shot, that was doing the video, who himself, I want to believe his life was on the line, but he captured that image. Those are iconic images that never appears or disappears on the stage. When you look at the Vietnam War, the U.S. servicemen planting the U.S. flag in Iwo Jima. Iconic. If you saw another photograph from China, Tiananmen Square, where the gentleman said, "I'm sick and tired," he stood in front of a tank to roll over him. Iconic image. In Vietnam, you saw a Viet Cong, they put a bullet in his head. Somebody captured that. This image from Grand Bassa County is iconic. If let me send this to Myean, so Myean can display it for us. God's willing. Let me copy and send this to him. And he will post this so you can see what I am talking about. Myean, I just sent you that image. Please post it so you can see. Myean is going to post it, but let me teach you a little bit. This is the image we are talking about. 4 women. You can see the bridge collapsing behind them. That's what we are talking about. A country, a place called Liberia. Look at this bridge. There you go. Look at these women. They are running for their lives. They could hear it. Look at the water behind them. The bridge is being swept. This is miracle. Little did they know, they heard the bridge crumbling and they are laughing and running. This is the nation's second capital city, Buchanan, beautiful as it is, neglected by the politicians. This is something they call the bridge that connects the mainland Buchanan to the University of Grand Bassa County. Beautiful, beautiful scenery. This is what we are talking about. Politicians are no good. Bassa politicians in particular. The county is very wealthy. The county is rich. The county has everything it needs to survive. In fact, when we were young kids, Grand Bassa had the mitigating gall to say they wanted secession. They wanted Grand Bassa to be its own republic. Because we have access to everything. We felt that the Liberian government was living off us. We have a seaport, we have beaches, we have fertile land, we got hills, we got mountains, we got valleys, we got everything. Then we have natural resources. And at the time, we had educated men and women on the international stage. Today, look at what we have in Bassa. We have metal steel, we have lac, we have Palm Bay, we have the gold mine, we got, you name it, Bassa has it all. We are 88 miles from the capital city. We are about 50, 60 miles from the airport. We have the Farmington River. We have the St. John River. We have the Atlantic Ocean and many other rivers in between. What else does Bassa need to be called a gem? The only thing that is missing is leadership. The president pro tempore of the Senate, Nyenwolo Kanga Lawrence, is from Grand Bassa County, if you didn't know. The former president pro tempore, Wezaga Milton Finley, is also from Grand Bassa County, if you didn't know. Another former pro tem by the name of Tom Jugonti Wowoyu, the late, was also from Grand Bassa County. Another pro tempore, Charles Walker Bromskin, also from Grand Bassa County. May I continue? They are in, most of these folks are still in power. Wezaga Finley, the former pro tem, the present pro tem, when they are driving in their big cars and the convoys and the securities and the police, and they are driving, you say, yes, the Bassa people are coming. And go to their hometown and see where they live. Go and see, just like those kids that grew up in your, when we were kids, or anybody who has a child, when your children go in the street, they want to wear their clothes to go to July 26th celebration, they want to go Christmas clothes. When they dress in the street, you say fine, but when you follow them and you see how they sleep in their little room they got, how their parents, how they treat their parents, you say, oh, but how they man look beautiful, so, and you also dirty. When you see the delegation from Grand Bassa County, you say, whoa, until you go to Buchanan and see the place. You wonder, how can Milton Wezaga Finley sleep in such darkness for the past 35 years? How could Nyenwolo Kanga Lawrence sleep in a place so dark in all aspects for 35 years or more? No running water, no sewage system, no innovation. No. When you talk about innovation, when you talk about vision, wisdom, there's none. It's all about what's in the budget from a line item. Look at the pro temporary's budget. Look at her office budget. One person, This is the country you get. In America, they say you get what you paid for. If you went to the store, you say, I need something for $5, they will give it to you. We'll give you something that is worth $5. If you went to the store, you say, I need something good. I need a good generator. So when the light goes, a dependable generator. I don't want Tiger generator. I want maybe a Suzuki or a Honda. The Lebanese man or the Indian man will look at you and say, now you're talking. You will look at you and say, they man crazy, you want Honda? Or the Chinese like, you don't want it, you want Honda? You got money set for Honda. And you say yes. That's what I told you I want. I want a Honda. I am Johnny. I came here specifically with Honda in mind. Honda, I call for. Honda, I want. And he's going to come back to you and say, Johnny, we got a little one here from China, Tiger. You can get it for $200. Honda is $2,000. Can you afford $2,000? Then Johnny will say, I don't want to call you Lebanese or Indian, my friend, but I told you I want Honda. Give me the Honda. When you take out your money and you pay him, his jaw drops. But because Johnny knows what he wants, Johnny knows his self-worth, he knows what he needs. He's saved for it. I am not a Tiger man, sir. I want my Honda. So when the Basel people go to negotiate, I will say this again, Trump always said, when I'm going to negotiate, I go to negotiate for 100%. In love with Johnny. If Johnny agree with me, I get 100%. That's his business. It is not my job to tell Johnny what's good for him. Johnny needs to stand up for what's good for him. You represent Grand Bassa County and you don't know your own worth. So the other counties will eat on your show. And that's what they say. They eat on your show, or they eat show, whatever, the new word in Liberia, and they eat on your show. Because you sit there and other people come from other places and take what belongs to you. The Bassa people were complaining that the Chinese and the Indians or whoever, they are digging gold and diamond all over, polluting everywhere. The Bassa administration, the Bassa legislative keep giving these people licenses to dig against the will of their own people. They are damaging the environment. They are digging sand every river. And the same people, when Yom Kanga is coming, they are clapping, cheering. When Western Garfield is coming, they're cheering. When Matthew Joe is coming, they are dancing. This is what our astute and learned lawyer Gongloe said. Liberia is dying from one disease, elitism. Everything. They are not good, but at least they give us small thing. Our people are dying from curable diseases, simple curable disease, but at least when you come, you give me little things of paper, here's something here for you. Honorable Gongloe, thank you very much for coining that term, that word, at leastism. It was a phrase, but he coined it into one, at least. Everything is at least. We kick CDC out, but at least they didn't do it all. But at least the new government trying. At least they're doing something. They promised everything. They didn't do it, but at least they are trying. You didn't elect Wesoga Finley and Nyobi Kanga to at least try. That was not why you elected them. You elected them to be problem solvers, to come and solve your problems. We got rid of Jonathan Kape because he was useless. And Jonathan Kape can stand up now and say, what has changed since you got rid of me? Some have the gall to say they want a third term. 9 years and another 9 years, she is saying Nyobi Kanga is looking the Bassa people in the eye and saying she wants another 9 years for doing absolutely nothing. Matthew Joe, my friend and brother, had done some good things, but not good enough. He said he wants another term for his third term, and I'm telling him that's not the way to go, Honorable Matthew Joe. If it spoils our friendship, so be it. If you didn't do it in 12 years, forget about the next 6 years. So here we are. Today I was listening to the Sports Authority of Morocco. And they asked one of the board members and said, how Morocco got this powerful in soccer in Africa? He said, this is an intentional act. He said the leaders of our nations got together and decided that they were going to invest heavily in sports, soccer in particular. So they made it an international and national issue. They started to build academies. They started to use partnership with other academies around the world, sending the bright ones abroad to learn the game. They were scouting children of Moroccans all over the world and bringing them home while they develop locally. I know I'm not the only one that is listening to that interview or have listened to that interview. He says the country of Morocco decided to be intentional. They were going to invest heavily. He said 15 years later, we are making more money from our national team than we put in. Every time they make the World Cup, the country benefits, the team benefits, the player benefits. Whenever they move into the next round, the players benefit, the country benefits, the team benefits. Return on investment, he referred to this as rapid return on the investment in 15 years. This is what we are saying. The great thinker Descartes, he said, I think, therefore I am. Meaning, if you are not a thinker, you can no longer exist. You may be breathing, walking around. You are not living, you are only surviving. And the question should be, I have survived all my life. When will I live? In America, living means that you have a job, you support your family, and then you have a little residual income, something reserved. You work hard, you support your family, and you put a little thing away, and you call it rainy day fund. If something happens to you, when you reach that point, then you now begin to live. Anything other than that, if you are living from paycheck to paycheck, as most of us do, we are only surviving. And our attitude carries over into our public policies, our national thoughts, collective thoughts carries over. Our inability to see what is good for us for tomorrow. So we dwell on instant gratification. It has to happen now and then. You get into government, you want to steal, you want to do all of those things that you accuse everybody of. 80% of the total budget goes to recurrent expenses and 20% for development of the nation. You met this, it's been going on from time immemorial, and it still continues. And the 20% that remains, in fact, yesterday, the Ministry of Health is even making more recommendations to establish another entity called Liberian Health something. They call it Liberia Health Equity Fund. It would be supposed to be an autonomous agency like the, I guess, Maritime Affairs and LPRC. Another bureaucracy that will take money, that little 20% that was remaining for development. We're going to have another agency with another 500 employees of partisans. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am Jerome Gayman. I am tuning in from the Sunshine State. If we are in a frenzy, if you're watching TV and you look around, you will see the city of Miami has been taken over by all the countries in the world. Yesterday was all orange. The day before, it was all green. The Irish were in town. The Scots, were in town with the bagpipes. The day before, the Brazilians were in town. The Argentinians were in town. The Haitians were in town. The Mexican was in town. So the town, South Florida, is in a frenzy. When you are in Liberia and you grew up on your small mind, you see people dancing in the streets. You look in the crowd, you got doctors, lawyers, surgeons, politicians. Today, they are celebrating their country. They are dancing. It takes nothing away from them. It adds onto them. You go to Liberia, this man is the manager of the Dog Catcher Association, and he wants to be carried in a hammock. He is such an accomplished human being that other human beings should touch him on their shoulders. You see director of an autonomous agency walking in Liberia. In fact, you may never see them walk in Liberia. They have reached the stage of being pious. When you see the director of the gas station association walking in Monroe, you'll be lucky to encounter these people. What a country! What a country! The month of June and July will be celebrated by the whole world. The business of the people. They are playing a sport that speaks no particular language. The whole world is coming together, and everybody else looks like a peon, like a pea in the pot. The whole world is celebrating. And if you are not invited, at least yesterday we saw Liberia flash across the screen when they showed the face of the former president, George Myean. Liberia, we can take a little solace in that. That of the 74,000 people, billions of people watching, they were able to zoom in on a Liberian, the peace ambassador. We have to be intentional. Everything done should be done with a sense of purpose, sense of direction. That's what leadership is all about. Let's put it in black and white. The white man thinks 50, 100 years ahead, and the rest, the black folks, will just follow. The white folks have determined, they have read the tea leaves, they have looked at the numbers. They're saying that the global south, Africa is on the rise with 65% of its population so young. This is the direction of soccer. The soccer body, FIFA, said we need to increase the visibility of these folks. They are young, they are progressive, they are talented, they got God's-given talent. So that when Africa used to be represented by 5 teams, they double it, made it 10. Somebody was being intentional. They are looking at the data. My boy and friend, Johnny, who is a sociologist and social statistician, knows exactly what the data is saying. They roll the dice. And when the dice roll and roll, when they landed, the name that came up now is the love of the whole world. It's a small nation from the west coast of Africa by the name of Cape Verde, Cabo Verde. Mesmerize the world as to how soccer is played or should be played. Or if you are reading the tea leaves, how soccer will be played on Africa's turn. Defense, 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 and when the chances or the chance arises, you strike. You counter. You need speed, you need patience, you need endurance, you need discipline. And Cape Verde, whether they win another game or not, have just shown a flash of what to come. Not too long, the world pay attention. Ghana took a page out of Cape Verde's book to play compact football. And they took on the Great Britain, England, the powerhouse. Frustrated them, taught them how this game is played. They say in the West, defense wins games. And a good defense and a little bit of offense win you championships. Cape Verde have introduced how defense should be played, no matter who you play against. And Ghana took a page out of that. So much so, the Hurricane, the darlings of Great Britain, the darlings of London, the darlings of English football, made himself look like a fool by being a sole loser. Sparkle Coty say, I'm watching from a new Georgia estate. Thank you for tuning in. Doris Thompson, I know you're watching. I don't know where you're watching from. Thank you very much. Flex Electronics, you didn't tell me where you were, where you tuning in from, but I know you are in Seattle. You know, I can read. I know I'm a Bassa man. I got Niji. I can read. I can read the tea leaves. I can see you in Seattle somewhere. Way back in the 80s and 90s, they had a lady, a young, smart Jamaican lady or American lady, but she learned how to trick the people. Her name was Miss Cleo. Miss Cleo was supposed to be this magical a woman that would tell you, she would read your zodiac sign, and I mean, she was great. Miss Cleo. I am Mr. Cleo today. I'm reading the tea leaves. I know Flex Electronics is from Seattle, Washington. Boyma Abraham Quaid said, I'm following live from 2 Southfield, Grassfield Community Supermarket. Thank you very much for tuning. Jack Camo said, I'm watching from Sino. Oh, the crew people in the house, Sino County. We love our folks from Sino. Let me see who other we have here. James John Kakula Sumo. This is why GM Weah told them in the World Cup to stop. I guess it means racism. That's correct. Our Zwedru folks are here. The line is going to be open. You can interrupt me anytime, but we're going to have open line from 7 o'clock. So if you want to wait, that's fine. If something, like we say, anything that catch your heart, you can call. The number to call in Liberia is 777-649-986. What's up? You know that +1 856-676-5136. If you're in the U.S., you just dial straight 856-676-5136 or 772-940-2871. Today is Friday. We need to talk about issues. It is the weekend review. And what has dominated the news for the last 2 weeks? This drug issue. And for some reason, it is not going away. If the government is hoping that after 2 weeks, we will move on to something else with all the distractions, we are not leaving the drug thing alone. Somebody owns the drug. Somebody brought in the drugs. Somebody storage the drugs. Somebody package the drugs. Somebody repackage the drugs. Who are these people? The son of Consul used to say, this is Papa land. The people want to know who owns Papa land. Who owns Papa's land? The drug issue is not going away, Mr. President. We are not going to allow you to escape. This week, we talk about CDC Taft Cummings as keynote speaker as opposition leader converges on Zwedru for 2029 political push. Zwedru rises. 2029 victory is the final destination, in quotation. Become the rallying call for opposition engagement ahead of the 2029 elections. And on the front page of the paper here, they have the former Vice President, Honorable Joel Howard Taylor. In the background, they have Benana Uri, and in the forefront is Honorable Alexander Cummings. And it says, Zwedru, Grand Judea County, the Congress for Democratic Change has announced that Alternative National Congress ANC political leader Alexander B. Cummings will serve as the keynote speaker at the party's 22nd anniversary and Militant Month celebration, scheduled for Saturday, June the 27th. That's tomorrow. 2026 in Zwedru City, Grand Judea County. The event being held under the theme Zwedru Rises 2029 Victory is the final destination. It's expected to bring together some of Liberia's more prominent opposition political figures in that the CDC described as a national dialogue on the country's future. In an official invitation dated June 15 and signed by the CDC National Chairman Attorney Janga Eko, the party invited Cummings to deliver the keynote address, citing his role as political leader and standard bearer of the Alternative National Congress and his importance in shaping Liberia's democratic future. Johnny, the CDC has invited all political leaders to Zwedru. They are saying they are going to be discussing the future of the Republic of Liberia. They are inviting key individuals, the Uris, the Commisses, Kabina Janet. All of these people will be coming together this weekend in Zwedru City, Grand Judea County. Your take.
Yeah, Mr. Cummings, I mean, it's good for CDC to invite those they consider as, key political leaders, because I don't have information where they even thought about inviting the Liberia National Union, Dr. Moniba, to that event. So I don't know whether they want to start to create, some line of difference among. But anyway, it's okay. I think it's a good idea. It's good that the CDC celebrate this occasion by inviting some political parties to go and associate with them, see how they can compare notes and see what is good in terms of their political plan for Liberia 2029. I appreciate it's a good idea. I have no objection. Very good thing to do.
Great. Guys, they listed a few names. They said they are inviting opposition. I want to believe Dr. Moniba may be one of those. They say opposition. As I understand, we have about almost 40 political parties, but I would limit it to maybe the first 5, and those 5 would be CDC, ANC, CMC, Unity Party, and Dr. Moniba Lanu, Those would be my top 5. So I want to believe, yes, he will be invited, and most likely he has been. But yes, it's a great start. Let me say hello to Mr. Gayman, Bodyman Gayman. He said, good evening, Daddy. How are you doing this evening? That's my nephew. So Buchanan is in the house. I'm doing very well, Mr. Gayman. Good seeing you. Up this time. Yeah, well, Friday you were allowed to be up, because if it was Sunday or Monday, I would say, what are you doing up? You got to be in school tomorrow. But thank you for tuning in. Say hi to everybody in Buchanan and in the Gayman family household. Yes, it's a good thing to have members of the Liberian opposition and thinkers come together, and I'm hoping that Honorable Gongloe also should, and I'm sure will be or is invited to the party as well. We need not just political noisemakers, but we also need thinkers. The only other reason that Gongloe may not be invited is because he's part of the administration. That could be one of the reasons why, because this is the collaboration, this is the partnership that brought the Unity Party to power. The folks from the Gongloe camp said that the previous administration were not doing the right thing, and they needed a steady or experienced hand to come in and do it. Only for them to say now that things have not gone well. That could be one of the reasons that, listen, you are part and parcel of this government. You have not resigned. You are still part of the collaboration. So there's no reason to invite him, and I won't blame them if they did that, because even though he has written some critical pieces here and there, he is still part of the collaboration. What do you think about that logic, Johnny?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with you, because during the second round of the election, Liberian People Party of Councillor Gongloe endorsed the Unity Party. I think by that means they have some of their officials appointed in government. We have the head for EPA. We have one of the members, I think, at the ombudsman. Some other places may have, few other places they have, them appointed. So probably that could have been the reason why the CDC did not consider inviting them, to their occasion, because they consider they might be considering them as part of the Unity Party alliance, Unity Party and its alliance. So that would be a reason if they didn't invite them. But we don't know why, because the CDC has their own reason for inviting people to that occasion. They will decide who to invite based on maybe probably their relationship with that individual or that party.
Yep, that could be. We will discuss and see how things are going. Another thing that happened this week in Liberia that have most people scratching their head is the United States signaled strong confidence in Mensa-Orient mining collaboration. President Joseph Yuma Boyka sent a photo with officials of Mensa-Orient, the new majority investors in Liberia Dopoh Gold Project. It will go again. The United States Embassy in Monrovia has reaffirmed growing international interest in Liberia's mining sector following a high-level diplomatic meeting between the U.S. official, Mensa Resources Limited, and its strategic U.S. investment partner, Orient Resource Partners, as discussions intensify around the development of management of the Dopoh Gold Project in southern Liberia. In a statement issued in Monrovia, the U.S. Embassy Charge d'Affaires Joe Zadowski hosted a delegation from Mensa Resources and Orient Partner to discuss the their eagerness to secure approval for the Liberian government to assume the management role linked to the Dopoh gold mine, one of Liberia's most significant emerging gold assets in the Republic. Orient Resource Partner, a New York-based private equity firm and one of the largest dedicated mining investors globally, have heavily invested in Mensa Resources, a company with growing interest in gold, bauxite, and iron ore development. The MSA described the partnership as a strong alignment of technical expertise and capital investment capacity that could support Liberia's long-term extractive sector growth. Here we go again. My friends at the MSA, if you don't call me back there, that's fine too. But for you to try to navigate the system, for what we are going through with Myean Mountain, for you to say you found a spot in the southeast that is even bigger than Myean Mountain, without discussing the technicalities and the corresponding needed resources for healthcare, environmental degradation, the people's health, the people, their education, their well-being. We have seen this movie before, we know how it ends. Myean Mountain is right next door. And here we are. Godfather of the United States has stepped in. They don't corner the old man. You see where they had the old man? They had the old man right in the middle. Look, right there. All the white people that got in there. He got nothing to say. Uncle Sam has spoken. They need the gold, the bauxite, and the iron ore. And they found a sweet spot in the southeast. And they want this. Now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6 white men and 1 white woman cornered President Joseph Boakai. And they are telling him, this is our interest. We are interested in the bauxite, your gold, and your iron ore. And you hear what it said? The extracting industry. Extract. Yes. If you ever been to the dentist, when they extract your tooth, you don't get it back. Johnny, when they extract your tooth, they take it, you're not getting it back.
And you know, Mr. Gayman, this is one area that I've always, thought about with regards to Liberia's negotiation or Liberia's, mineral sector and land use activities. Most times the government plays a lot of, interest in the rubber sector. You always got, moratorium on rubber, all kind of actions. And I've always said the agricultural sector will always exist, will always be there. But there's a sector that we need to be mindful about. We need to be clear about how we negotiate and go into agreement. And that is the extractive sector. They give me the clear example. When they extract your tooth, you don't put it back. If they want to replace that space, you do something else that is not the same tooth that was there.
Oh.
So meaning, if we want to go, that means when you make a decision to agree to retrace that tooth from there, you should think thoroughly, you should think twice, and know the health implications, the consequences before you go into that process. So let's go back to our mineral sector. One thing I want to tell Liberian people, which I know the government people knows, and the guys at the mines and energy sector knows, that when you extract the iron,
well, Johnny is in Liberia and he's frozen. But I want to recognize Joy and Cooper Burnett. 8728, she said, I'm watching from south coast of Massachusetts to hopefully hear more about you know what. That's a typical Liberian. If you are from the Liberia and you grew up during our time in the 80s and 90s, you know what means a potpourri of everything. They're here to talk about everything. They want to hear everything. So yes, you are right, Joy. We are doing the week in review. We are going from Monday to today. So you're going to hear about everything and more. Somebody, you know what. I was in Massachusetts the other day, and my son tried to take me to Martha's Vineyard to see some historical sites and just intermingle with other folks. Martha's Vineyard and the bluffs around there. Beautiful place. In the Bassa language, they say, things can change, or things has a way of replacing itself. Martha's Vineyards and the bluffs and those other places were all places where they took the slaves to segregate them from the mainland. And you know, the poor folks, you give them, they say you give them lemon, they will make lemonade. That's what it is. It turned out where they were deporting these blacks, these slaves, turned out that it was one of the best places on the continent. The black people built, they preserved it, and now they are surrounded finally by wealthy folks, and they won that place. And most of the black folks in that area refused generation after generation to sell their ancestral land. So what remains of it is a major tourist attraction where you can take your family, you can go by yourself and relax. Quiet, nice, land of beauty. So yes, Joy, you are here. We're going to be talking about everything. Today is Friday, and you tune in at the right time. We're going to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, and the indifference. We're going to talk about them. The government cannot fire me. They cannot fire you, hopefully. They cannot take your money. They cannot take my money. So it is us that our folks are depending on to talk about the abuse, this kind of relationship, the abusive relationship our people are in with their lawmakers. Some of whom are even related to us. It is never about legacy anymore. It's about self. Liberia has a great extractive industry, and that's the human capital. We leave from here, we go, we get a piece of job, and we steal and then leave. We are still extracting. What's the difference between us and the white folks? We do not invest in ourselves. We do not invest in our nation. We do not invest in the future. I was just going through Facebook or YouTube, and this young man they call, I think, Joseph Kotu, sent me a link, and I opened it, and he was in Vanjima at the Unification Monument. An iconic legacy of the William V. as Tubman foreign and public policy. That beautiful monument has been we talk about desecrated. The bush, the grass are grown all over the place. They have vandalized the place. They have monuments there. They have broken the heads of most of the stuff. And the city man, the city government care less. These are the people we call leaders today. Legacy means nothing to them. Preservation means absolutely nothing to them. Once they come to Liberia, they either win a position or they are appointed to position, and they keep taking the money to pay for their homes and their cars and everything in the States or in Ghana or in South Africa, wherever. Now I'm hearing the new place now for them is Dubai. There is no sense of urgency when it comes to our legacy. That is the country that you have. And nobody should tell me that the country is cursed. No. Someone told me Ghana is developed because the colonial power developed their place. They gave them a landscape that was already established. The foundation was laid. But we were left to fend for ourselves. So today, if we were left to fend for ourselves, then we should be really independent. To take stock in what we have invested in, our sweat, our blood. Men and women got on or I would say leaking shape. And they took the leap of faith to get on that ship, to go across the Atlantic Ocean, to establish a place called the Republic of Liberia. With all its iniquities, they did. And I know when they were leaving, they say, we are going to start to begin to build a place upon whom our children can improve. If Joseph Jenkins Roberts, Stephen Allen Benson, if they were to return today and see what has happened to that place, they will have a second choice and say, you know, maybe we should stay in the United States and fought for an enclave. (1822) to 2026, that's 204 years. I was just in Liberia in February, and I was still watching public defecation in the capital city, Monrovia. Public urination. I went to three restaurants. I had no, I guess you call it cook shop or a restaurant, whatever it is. They had no restaurant. They are telling you to go next door because they don't have any restaurant. There are no codes from the government that says to open a restaurant or cook shop, you have to have mandatory bathroom, sanitized. So you go to some of these cook shops and you eat something that ran your stomach, like my Ellie say, you are on your own. You go into these offices and you look on the wall and you see nothing but master's degree, double master, PhD, double PhD. They are doctor. They are everything except anything that works. What a country. What a country. I was on a team, and I'm going to say this again, with some guys and girls from the U.S. Embassy, and we took on ourselves on a team to go and find something called monuments. We wanted to find where all the important people of Liberia were buried, all the presidents. We wanted to identify the graves of where the presidents were buried. I spent 3 weeks. I think we identified maybe 4. Where are our educated folks? Where is the government? Why do we do this to our leaders, former leaders, men and women that have fought, died for our country, and you don't know where they are buried? We're driving around looking for one famous grave. We couldn't find it. Someone said you go and talk to Monica Tam, in the area there, Mount Bagley somewhere. Let's go. We drove in, obviously, because of the U.S. Embassy. Opened the door, opened his gate. We got there. And we are asking, because there's rumor that some of the presidents and great folks were buried in that area. And all he could tell me was, yeah, we heard about it too. But no one knows. I don't think it is here. We went to J.J. Roberts' grave. Getting there, the grave have been, the monuments have been vandalized. There were so many druggies and zogos, and the gentlemen who were actually leading the expedition said, guys, let's abandon what's happening. Let's leave. We have been surrounded by too many of these drug heads, and it is not safe. Right in the capital city of Monrovia, the home and burial spots of most of our leaders. There's no preservation society. There's nothing. Okay, let's say George Manning, we are this footballer from the ghetto, has no clue. Let's agree. But what's about Joseph Yuma Boyka, President Joseph Yuma Boyka, that have enjoyed the best? Like my countryman from Grand Bassa, Charles Walker Bronxman was just saying, don't be fooled. Joseph Boyka and his handler want to present him as an ordinary poor man. He is not. He hath enjoyed the largesse of the old order. He lived with the old order. He went to school with them. He socialized with them. You'd think by his ingratiation, you'd think some of those civilized ways will have rubbed off on him. That preservation of our leader is imperative. You think Joseph Boakai would know that, listen, when those people were here, we call them Congo people, when they were here running this country, this is not how they did it. You can disagree with them all you want, but they have some decorum. They had their faults, but whatever society they went into, they made it better. So why now Joseph Boakai is allowed Central Street? That is not the Central Street that Joseph Boakai grew up on. He went to CWA next door. That is not the Central Street that he grew up on. The least they expected us to do is, once you get here, they say, I like what American people say, please make it better than where you left it or where you met it. They want you to come to their country, but please make it better. Improve the system. When Joseph Jenkins Roberts and the rest were dying, they said, we have planted our flags here. We are hoping that successive generations will make it better. But this generation is all about I and me and myself. They are not investing in education. They're not investing in science and technology. They are not investing in research. Go and see the University of Liberia. The flagship program of University of the Republic. Classrooms are leaking. Children are standing up. The rest of them, they're running around every day singing battle cry songs. I don't know what they're doing there, whether they are going to school or anything. Every day, they call somebody or some group called soup. They're in the streets instead of in the class. And someone told me that those in power are funding those young men and women to be in the streets, compromising their own future because they are beholden to few hands, greed. I look at men and women who were in these United States and the West Coast, the West, that have not been able to do anything in this country or in the West, whether it is Great Britain, Canada, you name it. These people have never, most of them, 90% of them, have never risen to any level of significance. You go to Monrovia now and see them driving $100,000 car, $1 million cars, $500,000 car, 100,000, 90,000, 50,000, 40,000, 65,000. And you wonder, what is wrong with the black man? Then you sit there and you want to blame the white man. You sit there and the Lebanese come, these people who are homeless. They got no home to go to. So they colonized our country because you allowed them to. So they can't go back to Lebanon, they can't go back to Beirut, but they can definitely live at large in Monrovia and Liberia. The Indians, there are 1.5 billion people in India. There's no room for anybody. They leave and come to Liberia, and they become the custodians of our culture, of our economy, of everything. And they have Liberians working in their home, and they treat them like slaves. Some are being sexually abused. Some are being physically abused. And they turn to the law and the judicial system, the executive, let them down. It is not the white man's business. You are useless. You are incompetent. You are greedy to your own detriment. The only legacy you have is I served as a minister or director or senator. When you came to Liberia, with the University of Liberia being zero, you spent 18 years, 2 terms in the Senate, and you left the University of Liberia zero. You have no legacy. The few dollars you stole and you got away with, when you die, you are done. Nobody going to remember what you did here because you did absolutely nothing. At least the forefathers, I can go to Liberia and find a monument in honor of Joseph Jenkins Roberts. I can find a monument of William R. Talbot, a monument of William V. F. Tubman. I can find a monument of Samuel Kanye Doe, who made history. After we say Doe made a mistake or Doe brought coup and this and that, we say, well, it's time for us to slow down and bring in some young, energetic, highly educated people. Let them come in and straighten the mess between Talbot time and Doe time. Oh, Lord. There are people in Liberia now who are crying for Doe. And there are some of us that are crying for Talbot. But I have never met anyone that is fond of what is going on now in Liberia. Nobody except those who are directly responsible and benefiting, the beneficiary of the mess. They are the only one that will tell you that what is going on now in Liberia since 1992 is the best thing that have ever happened to us. We have lost our way. We have lost our culture. We have lost our integrity. We have lost our faith. And sooner or later, we are going to be losing the nation. It's being sold. My bastard brother wrote a book, Rich Nation, Poor People, Samuel Jackson. Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf said, absolutely, Liberia is not poor. Never was, never will, but Liberia is poorly managed. That's what she said. And then she came herself and felt the Liberian man said, you fall down inside. Our only way out of this destitute is quality education and a quality health care. My friend at the State Department always said, an educated mind and a healthy mind is a healthy nation. An educated people and a healthy people equals a powerful nation. If you take education and health away from any nation, that nation collapses. An uneducated and sick man is no man at all. So the Republic of Liberia, our folks, are deliberately making you sick, denying you an opportunity to be educated, because an educated man is a thinking man, and they don't want you to think. They don't want you to think. Liberia, they don't want you to think. They do not want you to be well. Go to your hospital. I know my Latin is not good at all, but I remember some when I was in undergraduate school. Cogito ego sum is the foundational pillar of modern philosophy introduced by French philosopher René Descartes. He said, I think, therefore I am. If you can't think, you cannot be. Cogito ergo sum. I think, therefore I am. That is the foundation of our thought processes. So the folks in Liberia, they will say the blind leading the blind. It is intentional. Why will you educate people that will question you tomorrow about what happened to their concession agreement contracts? Why will you want to educate anyone to ask you how much you make? Why would a Liberian politician invest in education so he or she can be questioned later on? No. You think any leader would say, I will first invest in education and healthcare before I invest in even roads, as important as roads and transportation are. If you are not healthy and you can't think, the roads mean absolutely nothing to you. You build roads, you don't have hospitals, you don't have doctors, you don't have anything. So we don't have x-rays. We don't have CT scan. We don't have MRI machines. It's reserved for the very, very tiny, minute number of people in Liberia. And even with that, it doesn't help them. They are dying in India, they are dying in Ghana, they are dying everywhere else except Liberia. This is a fool's errand. And we say this over and over and over and over. Someone will say, maybe we are cursed. No, 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 no. Yes, Joy, you know a lot about, yes, Mensa Resources Ltd. Yeah, they are new. They are just coming to Liberia. They're coming full force. They are very new to the country. This is why they are pulling all the levers. They are very new. Their interest is gold, bauxite, and iron ore. They're coming. This is a trifecta. Metalsky is coming for the iron ore. These guys are coming for all three. Trifecta. They are coming for the gold, the bauxite, and the iron ore. They talk about everything else except what the agreement says, how it's going to benefit Liberia. That's your Liberia there. That's our home country. You think we will learn from our mistakes? Nope. We did bad concession agreement all over the place. And we continue. Another bad concession agreement is on the way. Someone will say, how stupid can we be? Over and over and over. Myean, if you're in the back, Victor is in the back, please bring him on. But these are the folks. Today you call our leaders. Everything is for sale. When we were growing up, there was a word called banjo, mean cheap, wholesale. So the guys are saying, Liberia, when I saw the vice president at the Bee Mountain concession area, the vice president was talking to the CEO of Bee Mountain. The man said, business is so lucrative. I am sending the word out to everybody in the world. Liberia is the place to be. 2 months later, here we go. Mensa Resources Limited. You know, when you see LTD, it is connected to the British system, but it has a holding on Wall Street in New York City. It's a new company that's coming to Liberia. They listened and saw what Bee Mountain was saying, and they say, you want some piece of the pie, you need to come. And Mensa Limited said, you know what, we are not only coming for the gold to compete with you, but we're coming for the bauxite, and we are coming for additional iron ore. We are just coming. A country that does not invest in its natural resources, human capital, it is a dead nation, bound to be overtaken by someone else. A few days ago, in my hometown of Buchanan, They were parading in the streets. The president pro tempore of the Republic of Liberia, Nyenwolo Lawrence, and her supporters were celebrating light Venturno in Paso Basa. And the gullible Basa people were dancing with her. Thank you, thank you, thank you. In the fine print, in bold letters, it says, the European Union has paid to electrify the Southeast. Buchanan and Greenville are next in line to be electrified. In bold letters. But politicians were running all over Buchanan. That for some reason they snapped their finger and all of a sudden when they said, let there be light, and boom, there was light. But in bold letters, it says the government has very little, if not anything, to do with this. This is the work of our friends and brothers in Europe, and they are turning the light on for us. And they will be responsible for keeping the lights on. And the question is, so what happens when the European Union pulls out? This is what we are talking about. The politicians do not invest in education. They do not invest in mind. They do not invest in health. So you will remain sick and illiterate, and you will die that way. So you can remain to glorify them. Yes, what happened to Lux in Tenebres? Yes, the motto of the University of Liberia, I don't know, and you should ask them, because the locks in Tenebres is now leaks in Tenebres. It's leaking everywhere. There's nothing going on at the University of Liberia. When you look at what is going on inside, it's nothing but politics and pay. The new president said she needed $44 million to at least break even. They gave her 34. So they are $10 million in the hole. They're barely making their payroll. So there is no investment in the university. The education system is poor. The graduates there, you have someone like Doug Cooper would just walk on stage with a gown. How he got a gown, he got leather, he got a cap, he got everything, and he walk. They are just all walking like they all have earned a degree under somebody. But this guy here never went to school here. This man never went. This man will not even register. So if you get 4,000 of those people graduating every year, how many of those 4,000 actually went to class? Let me work on Victor. Number you are you part of the Lux in Tenebres?
No, actually, I never really attended.
Thank God!
Yes. I never did. But lots of friends. I spent a lot of time at the student center. The also University of Liberia Student Union. I spent a lot of time in there. It was as if I was a part of the student populace there.
You admitted meeting today that you were like Doug Cooper. You just blended in.
No, I didn't apply for any accreditation.
But Doug Cooper didn't have to apply. He just showed up for graduation.
He just showed up for graduation. Yeah, but I had a lot of my friends from William V. Studman High School. We founded the Student Youth Jama Brigade. That brigade was supposed to go against the student Uhuru movement. Back in the day, I think I've said it here again a couple of times. You had the pipeline for the movement for justice in Africa, Moja, coming through the Student Unification Party on the University of Liberia campus, and then the Student Euro movement at the high school level. And so we had for the PL and eventually PPP, we had the student integration movement at the university level. And then we had the student integration movement and the student German brigade at the high school level. Then I went to Cotton, and I was the founding chairman of what we call the Democratic Union of Students, Dopoh. Bushibin Keita, who is the legal advisor now to the president, he was one of my candidates. We're very close. Edward Thompson, Father Ed Thompson of the Episcopal Church, he was, he won Bushibin. And, so these are interesting times. But, I spent a lot of time at Student Center at the University of Liberia, but I never did go to university. Most of my friends, Samuel W. Sabwa, Edward Fale, a lot of the guys, Abdullah Tunis, Kwame Clement, we hung out at with the guys there. Then, of course, Wogabi Tapia, the late, Anthony Kessley, Gelomina Flomo, a lot of good memories, Christian Herbert, we had a lot of fun time. Larry Topa.
Did you say the late Anthony Kessley?
No, the late Gelomina Flomo. Anthony Kessley is
okay.
Anthony is the question minister. I saw him in Sacramento as my man. Anyway, Anthony is in the mansion. He's the deputy minister, I think, for public affairs at the Ministry of State. But congratulations to you guys. You and Johnny, I listen to you off and on. Thank you very much. It's a Friday. I know it's open mic, and so there are no topics. But you guys did a wonderful job. I wanted to congratulate the Lions of Teranga, I believe they call themselves, or Senegal. They, you remember yesterday we were talking about them being a disappointment.
Yep.
I think they may have listened to our show.
Yeah.
And
they rolled back today.
They rolled back today, guns blazing, and they took down Iraq. 5 goals to nothing. 5 goals to nothing. Yes. So their huge goal difference has increased the chances of getting in as one of the third best teams to enter. So fingers crossed for Senegal. Congratulations to Team Weah. We all talked about him here a lot. I'm sure Sylvester will come on, Robert and Tomalin. These are the guys who follow Liberian soccer. But apparently there was a lot of concern as to why Team has not played yet. So he played last night, and congratulations to him. But I watched. Like I said, I don't watch soccer much these days, so I've never seen him play a full game. But I thought yesterday he was a little bit uncomfortable. I think, he was unsettled. And I can understand it being the biggest, sporting stage in the world. So the nerves and all of that, I get it. Plus, you had one of the greatest soccer icons in the stands. His dad, and which I think was very good that the president went to support his son. Even though I still disagree that he's not going to get
not his son. No, not his son.
Look, I'm not going to go there. I got a lot of inboxes, and I'm not going to go there.
It's not his son. He went there for FIFA for all the kids.
So, but I thought the president, and I saw him standing up, he himself recording what his son was doing, which really, I think, was touching. I mean, that man probably has over a dozen people with him in the stand who could have done that, but he was doing that himself. And they kept on, flashing him every now and then. I lots of respect for Josh Weah, and for the support. He's giving his son, even though he's a grown man now. So the Team, I think he played for all of 58 minutes. I understand. He didn't create any opportunities, no shots on goal, and there were times that I thought his passes were a little bit misdirected, but notwithstanding, there's always the breaking of the ice. I think now that I think this is probably his first World Cup, if I'm not mistaken.
No, second.
Second, okay. So, but I think he's going to do much better. So, congratulations. Of course, the U.S. suffered a little adversity. The game didn't count much, but they were overwhelmed by Turkey. It was, it was surprising. I mean, the U.S. opened
especially the last 10 minutes.
The last 10 minutes, yes. So I heard comments about, the coach resting, a lot of the players, maybe that's why or whatever it is. But even then, they put one of the best in Pelushi. He the one who took the place of Team Weah.
And did terrible.
Yeah. So
leg.
Exactly. So hopefully this is a wake-up call for them to go and make some adjustments. I think they play on Wednesday. Wednesday, I believe they play Bosnia Herzegovina.
They should be able to win that game.
They should be able to win that, but that's the same way we felt last night.
Yep.
And they lost that game, so we'll see.
No guarantee.
Yeah. And watch this afternoon, France and Norway, man. Mbappe.
Yeah.
He and his boys, they came in. I mean, they Norway bad, man. But having said all that, I'll pass it on to you quickly. I didn't go talk to the political leader of the CMC today, but I understand, there's a lot going on in Grangie there. I understand most of the leaders on their way to Grangie there may have stopped by his place in Encyclopedia there, and I think probably spent maybe a night with the Honorable Musa Hassan Belede, which if I didn't talk to him, so I can't confirm. But I think that's a good thing. I think this is all good that the political leaders are all able to gather. Put their differences aside. I saw him the other day at the Capitol building, when Mo Ali was there, put politics aside and be Liberians for a change, and later on you can go back to the heavy stuff. So I want to wish them well. I understand there was an incident in Zwedru. The old trick in the book. The ruling party will always have unfettered access to every government facility. But when the opposition wants the same facility, which really we are entitled to, they put us through the hoops. I understand that there were questions about how the CDC, arranged to use the Tubman Palace field or something like that. And there was a little tussle, but apparently eventually they were able to do that. All of these things are not necessary. I think the vice president, his name was called, even though I understand he came out to deny it. But look, all in all, I hope they will have a good weekend in Granger. We'll be following closely. And hopefully this is the beginning of the strengthening of the opposition as we're supposed to be, which eventually will lead to coalescing. I'm sure all of the political opposition parties will not coalesce. There will be several blocks. I'm almost certain about that. But let them get in there, spend some time together, get comfortable with one another. That's one of the reasons. Remember, Musa was trying to tell him you get a jet. He believes that his colleagues in the region, they should be comfortable with him. They should know who might be the next president of Liberia, and that's what he intends to do. Visit his colleagues in the West African sub-region, go on the continent, AU, and even overseas, out of Africa, Europe, America, get out there and get to visit with other leaders. Let them understand who you are. And it's a requirement here in the States. Before, the guys will make an overseas trip. Obama was in Germany, I think, from JFK time and all of that. So this is a good thing, create comfort with one another. Opposition is not, it doesn't mean you're enemies. You just disagree on strategies and methodologies, but, we're all Liberians first, and then we are opposition, politicians. So I want to wish them all the best, but it is good to be with you. I'm glad to be here. It's Friday. Let's get the show on the road.
Yes, guys. Listen, man, this World Cup is look, like I keep saying, y'all can say all y'all want to say about white folks.
These editions are insufferable, Jerome. You can never do anything good. Even when you praise them a little bit, they bring the knives out, guns blazing. You know what? Y'all will be sedition for life. I know, I get it. Y'all go ahead.
Listen, Jan, don't listen to this guy. This man come over here. We don't even give him. We don't even give him the invoice. Come over here. He is a walking billboard. This man is a walking billboard. A walking billboard. He just here. He's advertising. He's the man. I think he might major in finance and advertising.
Isn't that why we're here? I mean, to do our own, right?
Tomalin. She's talking her own too.
Yeah, she's talking her own. Let her go ahead and talk her own. You know, Joe, we will be on the ballot in 2029. Honestly, the vice president is affirming that you remember the other day we were talking about the former minister of women pay, right? Yeah, you know, advocating for a position that, in my view, is non-existent. I understand he's a surrogate for Minister Garguah to become the stand-up bearer for the next coming election, but President Bwaka is going to be the stand-up bearer. I think the vice president has already affirmed that the president will be on the ballot. So then, what is all this fuss about? You know, I don't know.
Look, the guys, the folks say the Unity Party is the gift that just keep giving. That's it there.
Yeah.
They want to do the best they can to change the topic from what it really is. But we're not going to allow it to happen. We are not going to allow that to happen. Look, the gentlemen and women. Do we have any women stand-up bearers?
Yeah. The current Minister of Foreign Affairs, Sarah Yanti Beslow.
That was then.
Yeah, Mandela Cooper is also a stand-up bearer.
That was then.
The political advisor. I don't think. Yeah, I mean, I think by constitution, by law, after the election, I don't know about most parties' constitution, but after the elections, you're not a stand-up bearer anymore. Then you're the political leader, because now you have to go to convention and get re-elected before you become the stand-up bearer. And that's why the CMC doesn't have a stand-up bearer. We have a political leader until we go to convention to elect, you know, a stand-up bearer. But yeah, so I think those are the two women that come to my mind. The political advisor to the president, Miss Cooper Kuhn, I guess. You know, let's be appropriate now.
Yeah.
Remember, I'm the spouse to this.
The man said he didn't.
No, that guy get drafted. I see no more get drafted. Jerome, I see no more get drafted. The
woman announced herself.
You announced her.
Whether you announced or not, she said, I mean, the woman just walk out of nowhere and said, I'm the spouse.
Out of nowhere.
I'm the spouse to the speaker. Everybody said, oh. And the speaker came back and said, I didn't steal my woman from anybody, and she didn't steal me for anyone.
Yeah.
And someone said, but what happened to the Senegalese? That she brought him to Liberia and made him sports ambassador, Liberia sports ambassador. Look, Liberia is the country is something else. Look,
it's an interesting country.
It never amazes me when I see something of this magnitude. It's like
I understand she has a kid by the former president, though, isn't that true?
Yes. She has a child by the former president.
Right.
So people like Jam and Burrow and other people like Sarah, you got to be very careful how you talk about Miss Cooper.
Miss Cooper, exactly. You know,
Miss Cooper is a co-part of your family.
Exactly.
I agree with you.
I mean, I agree with you more.
Jan, you gotta be very careful.
I agree with you more, my brother.
Yeah, you gotta be careful, Mandela Cooper.
You gotta be careful.
She has a special place.
That's a potential first lady there.
That's it. She has a special place in the heart of President Myean. The way we are celebrating him, we gotta celebrate. I don't know what his name is, but it's Myean, okay. And Mandela has done something that even you couldn't do. You couldn't give this man a son. She did. She gave him a son.
Yes, you did.
So you gotta be careful. You gotta speak to us with respect, with some reverence.
After you're not at the human level, you gotta get respect.
No.
You're not. Sarah, you're the one in the same league. Y'all gotta give her respect.
Nope. This man is in the inner circle
Of course.
of the president. She is just not an egg, she's the yolk. She is the yolk. She's in the middle, the real, the part that makes the baby, the yolk. Where she is. So Mandela got something on order, you ain't got nothing on her.
You got something on order then.
Yes, she got something. So guys, but we are talking about our nation, like Honorable Dolores Johnson said when she met with the Liberian government, the government officials, she said it. She said, I want to remind you as you go into offices, an educated nation and a healthy nation is a powerful nation. A nation that lacks healthcare and education is a dead nation. That's why she told the Liberian people. And she made that remark in 2006, again in 2011. So, almost 15 years later, 22 years after the war, Liberia has not invested in education. We have not invested in healthcare. 2 women died at the doorstep of Redemption Hospital because they didn't have enough money. A woman gave birth on the streets. They won't let her in because she didn't have $20. And street passersby, people, women, the instinct of being mother came, and wherever they were going, whatever they were selling, they stopped, they dropped it, they set it down, and they formed a chain around this woman to give birth.
Yeah.
On the streets. The women stopped, the women that were selling with their food on their head, they dropped everything and took their lapper and chained it together to give this woman some privacy. And these women delivered a baby outside of the hospital. This is not a nation that will foresee us retiring to. This is why when I'm going to Liberia, every time I have an open ticket and I take an extra insurance. That if something happens to me, put me on the next available flight. Don't wait until, well, he's not leaving till next Wednesday. No, my insurance says put him on any available, the first available flight out of the country. Last week, we read what happened in Nimba when the gentleman's wife was pregnant. He took the woman to the hospital. She needed a cesarean section. The hospital said he has to pay $150 cash. He said, I have $80 with me, $80. Can you please start working on my wife and I will go and find the rest? They said no. The woman and the baby died. What kind of country is this? Victor, I've never. How in the world, when you take your Hippocratic oath, which is do no harm, and you sit there and the mother and the child die because they don't have $150? What kind of country is this?
You know, the combined compensation, right, for the type five elected officials in Liberia: the president, the vice president, the speaker, the deputy speaker, the pro tem. Combined, they take home over $10 million, right? $10 million in this gun budget, or this budget they're running on. The appropriation to help, I think 13.5, 13 point something $million. The entire country, right? They are taking home $10 million, and they are appropriating $13.5 million for the entire health sector for the whole country. That money is not enough even for JFK, you know. But this is the you know priorities. That's how we set our priorities upside down. There's a lot of lip service that we pay as politicians. We talk a lot and do less. The speaker went to JFK and promised the people so much money. I think he promised to put them in the budget. $50 million, I believe it was.
Yeah. $20 million.
Exactly, $20 million. Recently somewhere else again he was promising again. But this is what we're talking about. You need a radical approach to the way we run government in Liberia. The way we're doing it is never going to work. We continue to try to touch up, touch along the edges, try to fix along the edges. You got to take the scalpel to it and really, really, really do a deep surgery, surgical operation, and take out the fat, But that is not going to happen under this government. I think it's clear to all of us now. You announced yesterday the proposal to set up another, agency of government, I think insurance or something like that. So we're going the opposite direction. Instead of trying to shrink government, we're making government bigger, and it's not going to cut it. It's not going to cut it. You need the likes of Musa Assembility, Alexander Cummings, and even Bernard Yuri, successful business people who have run business and know how to run a business and turn a profit. The government should be run like a business. You should be in the business of maximizing, your resources. President, we have to some extent. I mean, he has managed his fortune. He's been in money making for quite a while now, and I don't think he's been broke. So you got to give him credit. But that is what you need. You need someone who's going to come into business and make business decisions in the government. And it has to be done. And we said here when the U.S. government, pull USA out. We thought it was an opportunity. The government had a very good excuse if they were looking for one, to make some major structural adjustments. They announced some kind of reduction in gasoline a little bit, but the minimalist approach is not going to cut it, Jerome. The corruption in government is deep-seated, and it will require a serious minded engagement, staying engaged, staying with it, and not just delegating it out to people all along. And these are the things that we expect, but it's not happening under this government. I don't see it happening. So our health sector, why is it that you think people are dying, at the entrance of the hospital? Of course, the hospital, they are overwhelmed with bills. People can't afford it, but they themselves, they don't have the means because they don't have enough resources available to them. And so, we didn't talk much about this, but I can understand the justification for the health minister making the proposal that she did, except that I think she needs to find another way to do what she wants to do. Maybe, write grants or whatever it is. but she is trying to address it, an existing problem. People come to the hospital and they can't afford, to pay for their treatment, and they don't have money to continue to replenish the the pharmacy and all of that. And so you can understand the situation she's in. And so she's proposing this thing, people should set up insurance exchange or something like that to help these people. I can understand where she was coming from with that. But to put it on government, I think that would be the mistake. And back to you. I think Robert is in the back.
Yeah, she's saying Liberia should provide. The reason I'm saying that this is pure nonsense is, this is what I said when they first go to Liberia. They just take anything from this country because it sounds fine. She says here, Liberia is to provide universal health coverage to all Liberians. Can you imagine, as great as the United States is, they are struggling with the term universal health coverage. It's not only that it is almost impossible, but the cost associated with it. And this woman is saying Liberia should provide universal health care for almost 6 million people in Liberia. How is that possible? The budget for that alone will surpass the national budget. This thing needs over $1 billion to make this happen. So how in the world will you provide? I would have said if she would say, let's provide healthcare like Senator Chi. Are you pronounce the Senator Fofana? Is that Chi or Chi?
Chi.
Okay.
Yeah.
Honorable Chi is saying at least let's start with the emergency services. Let's make the emergency services like the one we just talked about mandatory. It is mandatory now, if this bill passes through both houses, that at least emergency medical services should not be denied to anyone, even though it's late to the gentleman who lost his wife and his unborn child. But it is a bill that is headed in the right way, and I want to take my hat off to Senator Chi for bringing this. It is overdue, it is past due, it is long past due. How is it possible that a possible doctor, lawyer, engineer, president, plumber will die before she or he even see the day of life? How can you have a mother and child die at your doorstep because of 150? Life is that cheap, Victor? Life in life, 2 lives, the mother and the child.
Yeah.
That's $75 each.
Yeah, it's sad. But my question to the senator is, he's a sedition. They were there for 6 years. He could have proposed this, and there's nothing wrong with proposing it now. But I just want to understand why he didn't propose it then. They were in the government. They had the House, the Senate, and the executive mansion. It could. I don't know why, but I still think it's a good idea. And I read some of his writings. He writes. I think he's a lawyer. He writes very well. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. But I wish he had put this forth earlier. But now it's standing. I think it's a good call. These are some of the things that we should be investing in. To give our people quality of life. Pursuit of happiness. Our friend Fix Electronics here always remind us that health is wealth. I think that's how he puts it. And you like you said, a healthy nation is a wealthy nation. You got to be healthy to pursue wealth. You can't be sick and go to work. How is that possible?
They can build all the roads. You sick.
Exactly. And in this country, you go to you can't be turned away when you go to the hospital.
Oh.
Yeah, they're on obligation to treat you. And it should be like that in Liberia too, where our people don't have, most of our people, they need help. We should be able to accommodate, the law of our lawyers in the society.
But this is what City Geese, yes. He said your insurance company must be strong enough to get you on the next flight out of Liberia. Our RIA where people can do their own thing. Yes. When you are buying your next ticket to Liberia, talk to your travel agent for travel insurance. They call it travel insurance.
I mean, a friend of ours, my wife's sister's, best friend's husband, guy lived in Minnesota a couple of years now. He's had kidney issues. Just one of the several stories, I am sure. But he decided to go to Monrovia, and he got sick there, Jerome, and couldn't get a flight out. Paid $15,000 to get a helicopter to bring him to Abidjan. Sure. Eventually, I think he went to the NGO, I think the UN or something, $15,000. But by the time they were finally able to make that arrangement, it was late. He's drowned in his own fluid because his kidneys, were failing him. I forget his name, but from Minnesota. He came here to see us. I still remember him. I think it was 2006 or so. It's unfortunate. Liberia cannot be a death trap. You go into Liberia, your heart is in your mouth. You gotta go through and get all of the shots and all of that stuff there. And what they call it, prophylactic or whatever. You gotta prepare yourself. Take your malaria pills and all. You should be able to go to your country. Relax and enjoy yourself. Although I understand LabCorp is in Monrovia now, you can go there and do your lab just like you do here, which is a good thing. I understand there's a pharmacy now that takes your insurance from here, which is a good thing also. But notwithstanding, the fact that you and I may have access to that, we are not the majority of our people. The majority of our people don't have that kind of access, and that's what we're talking about.
But you were here during the early time. Which was it? The Weeks family, their mother got ill. And
that's right. The lady who was at a telecom, right?
Yeah, $300,000 for a private jet to take their mom to London for medical checkup. $300,000. Do you know what $300,000 could do for our health care? Even if you just took that and put it in one section of the hospital and say, you know what? For my family's sake, I am going to sponsor the eye clinic. I will have it equipped and train people to work. That's what we call legacy, right? So when you die, your name, not just put it on the building, but make it functional so they can help everybody.
And that's why you come here, you go to JFK, there is the Jerome Gayman Wall. You understand something like that?
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yes.
Not. I mean, when you get there, just the name alone will make you well.
Oh, no, the Theola Gibson Ward, not
No, the Theola Gibson Ward near the mall because she said she would kill me. Theola Gibson, I know you were so pop up.
I know, my girl, we just making fun. Yeah, big man.
We talking
about we come here, we just make fun of everything.
We're probing you under your little hole you eat. You over there, as a nurse practitioner, you're making a lot of money, but you're still working, earning your money. But this is what we are talking about for those of you who are in the healthcare, like Theola and Sarah and Jan McBorrow and all of these people.
Well, let me massage you a little bit, right? If you were to give a few pointers to Alex Cummings over the weekend, right? As the headliner or the keynote speaker for this event in Grangida, one or two things you will want him to talk on. I mean, among several points.
Yeah, one is I would like him to dispel this notion, and I am guilty of that he is above everything else.
Yeah.
Let him dispel that. Listen, if my nation needs me, anywhere the nation needs me, I will go. I want to be like that preacher or that servant or that prophet. Say, Lord, send me. Send me. Wherever the Lord send me, I will go. If the Liberian people want me to be whatever, I will go. Dispel this notion that you are so high that you can't be anything. You can't be representative. You can't be senator. You can't be ambassador. You can't be vice president. That is the reputation that he has. And he has to dispel that. Most of his adjutants will say, where did he ever say that? Have you ever heard him say that? Well, this is the time for him to stand at a podium and make it clear, crystal clear to the folks that, Lord, I am a servant of yours, send me. That would be my message to him. He would kill 10 birds with one stone.
Yeah, I agree with you on that too. When I work with the CPP, I'm one of those who felt it was a kind of slight for people to continue to tell Alice Cummings, to go as a vice president, because after all, they make him to run as president. Why do you think, and that was my attitude then. But looking back on it now, it may have probably come off as a little bit elitist. I think you're right. And that's one of the things I admire about Dr. Moneyba when he came on here the other day. Yeah, he's running to be president, but he is saying he is prepared to serve in any capacity.
He's a servant first. Yes.
Exactly, where he'll make the most impact. The CMC has also come out to say that when I came on newly, then Musa was a little bit reluctant on the collaboration thing, and I was telling him, Chief, we got to really but now he's, I think he's coming around. The argument now is, if we will do so, let it be the will of the people. It shouldn't just be a few people sitting in a room and cashing out an arrangement that will allow, Jerome Gayman to be the head of the ticket, and then allow Robert Garguah to be, the second. That's not what it is. Yeah, we think it's undemocratic. But notwithstanding, I think in whatever capacity that a Liberian will serve and make the most, make the maximum impact, I think people should be open to that. So yeah, I agree with you. I don't think Alex ever said that. I think it's a kind of imagination that people are projecting onto him. Because I know when I was in town, I was seeing a couple of discussions where the whole question of a running mate thing, he was not opposed to that. He had some concerns over if an arrangement of such a nature was arranged. Usually, like I was saying the other day, when you go into this arrangement, there are other things attached to it. It's not just that. But there were concerns as to whether, the other, auxiliary items that will come along, whether they will be respected. I mean, we saw that with the CDC, the NPP, and other people complain a lot that they felt that they were not given a fair shake in the collaboration, that kind of thing. So I agree with you. I think he should. Yeah, I mean, of course, it shouldn't make it all about him. I think he should touch on some of the national issues. How to probably grow the economy, and such thing. Which he's very good at. I think he would do that. But I agree with you. I think he should not miss that opportunity to also dispel that notion that he's not prepared to be anything else but president.
Yep, guys, and this is why the folks say wise men or wise people learn. And Paul, in his days, says, "When I was a child, I spoke like a child, but when I grew up, I spoke like an adult." I mean, not verbatim, but that's what we are talking about. The American politician says, "I made mistakes, but that was my youthful indiscretion and my youthful exuberance." Instead of
youthful indiscretion. Oh, talking about irrational exuberance. He died though. Alan Greenspan died this week.
Yeah, at 100 years old. One of the most brilliant Jewish boy that you can ever think about.
One of the best, yes.
Generations to come. I spoke about him yesterday. So when he died at the age of 100. I mean, that is something else. Also talk about my friend Carlton Coffee, who died. One of the memorialized him today. I remember, but I'm going to do that on Monday now. But yes, there's a lot of things I was supposed to do this week or the last 2 weeks. But this World Cup, I'm telling you, I am consumed by this World Cup.
It's exciting, Jerome. I mean, I was up last night and I had to go to work, but I was up until midnight. Trying to watch a U.S. game, and you know, it's exciting. I mean, and like we said, this is a good time to be around, to be alive. You know, just enjoy and have fun. My son was going to come last night, so instead of watching it at home, to go to a sports bar, but you know, we decided we'll do that on Wednesday. You know, go and sit with friends and have a cigar and make some noise like little kids. You know, enjoy ourselves. I think, you know, we've earned it. I believe, you know, and cheer, you know, and I will cheer some of the African teams as well. I still believe one of the African teams may likely be in the final. I still believe that. You know, Ghana is doing well. The Ivory Coast is doing well. Senegal is starting to find a mojo. Bafana, you know, they're also trying to find. So, you know, Cabo Verde, you know. So there's, you know, a lot of feel good, you know, stories happening. So yeah, the World Cup is very exciting. Every time you turn the TV on, you know, there's always something exciting going on. You know,
it is great. Look, when we're talking about sports, look what these people have done by expanding the African terrain to 10 teams. Yeah. Do you know how many of the young kids from Cape Verde now are going to have massive contracts? Okay, yeah. That goalkeeper, that guy from Cape Verde, 40 years old, playing with kids that could be his grandchildren.
I read somewhere he came into that first game with 50,000 followers. By the end of the game,
he got about 14, 15
million followers. Yeah, so you know, I mean, it's a big stage. You know, and the guys, you know, and they're making a splash on the big stage. I'm really happy for them. You know, African soccer is coming of age. I mean, yeah, we've been around for a long time, but I think the programs now, they're really coming. I'm just really shocked that the Super Eagles are not. You know, and I saw a clip you sent me this morning. You sent me a clip, and you know, I didn't play until soon this morning. I got up, I said, look at this man, what you sent me, and then I played. And this guy is crying. I thought he was really crying. You know, he's crying, and then you show the Ghanaian goalkeeper.
He said, I got your secret. I know your secret. The secret is to have an ugly man catch the ball. He said a goalkeeper is ugly, but he's good. Then he said, but look at
the pretty ball. He didn't want to fall down for the ball. That's why we didn't.
He said, we need to go recruit ugly people with this man. This man are pretty, but look at him. He want to be in the magazine. He don't want to be on the floor. This thing called the social media and everything.
I'm telling you, man, Jerome. I laugh.
The memes, but guys, Cape Verde, if they win today, or even tied, they will still be number 3 in their district or in their conference, and that's good. But what really got to me, I sent you that clip too, is the English team's captain, Hurricane,
right,
to talk about the African team as though we are nothing.
Yeah.
After losing, that's what I call sole loser, to say they're asking, you guys could not break down the Ghanaian defense. They played an excellent game. He said these kinds of countries, when they come, they're happy with a tie, and they play defense and they don't want to move. And can you imagine?
Yeah. But yeah, and you pointed this out from your daughter. If you think the Africans are not good, let him just look around him now. How many white people are playing? How many Africans are playing? But that is the foundation of the slave trade, right? The domination of the black person, projecting them as inferior so that they could buy us cheap. Basically, that was the premise of all of that.
Yeah.
You cast us as less than humans, less intelligent, so that you put us on the market to sell, you cheaping us and pay little or nothing. I mean, the conquest. And I listened to DeGrasse Tyson the other day talking about it. He just kind of made it so simple. North America broke away from the rest of the world for a long time, over 10,000 years. When Columbus really reconnected, there were sicknesses and all that, but there was this vast land that they discovered, and they didn't have the capacity to till it. And so they came back to where all of us came from, Africa. The whole human race is from Africa. So they had to come in there and get us, but they wanted to get us cheap to come and do the cut and farm their land. Basically, that is the whole premise of the slave trade, and that has stayed with them. Every European, hurricane is a typical European. That's why he was told growing up that the black people will never be equal to you. They're less than you. But I don't worry about people like him. Like you say, he's a soul loser. And like I said, let him look around him and see who are the best players right now in the tournament. And Mbappe is not a white man.
That's right. But not only that, look the team he's playing for now.
Yeah.
This man is playing for the Spurs. Okay? The Spurs. And all the other teams that he played for now, the black kid took his spot.
That's right.
So I see why he's talking about when we're talking about Arsenal. The Arsenal team, that just won the championship. The All Black, the French, you name all the team. He has been relegated to a small, lower level team called the Spurs, and he couldn't even take them anywhere. And he's talking about, instead of talking about how they failed, because Ghana said, you are not coming here without your imperial colonial master thing. It's not today.
Yeah.
And they prove it. And guess what? It got under his skin.
Yeah.
And he made himself, the blowback
He just couldn't help himself. Yeah.
The blowback is instant.
Yeah.
The whole world is on his case. And I don't know how he's going to look at himself when he leaves, or the other guys that he playing, the other black kids that are on his team. I don't know why he's going to tell them.
How you gonna face them in the locker room?
Yes, this man he doesn't play for Bayern. I guess Bayern Munich now, or he was with the Spurs. I saw him play for the Spurs.
To be honest, I don't even know him until this. Like I said,
he started talking trash.
I don't, so I don't even know him. But I listened to him speak to the commentator after the game. He sounded very arrogant. The tip you sent me, I think I missed it. I will go back and watch it.
Mm-hmm.
But Jerome, there are stories about these guys. They're using them as gladiators. They're on the field, giving them the best entertainment possible, and yet, lowly people, like people who can hardly buy their own little soda when they go on the field, they're the ones who are throwing stuff out there and calling their names. And they allow it to happen. It's so unfortunate that our guys don't have any choice but to play in Europe. But they don't need you if they continue to treat you in this way, But our guys don't have that many options available to them.
But I wouldn't even say that, because they've been paid handsomely too. So I really, really, really like the kind of salary our boys are making. You can call them any name you want to call them, but they are making 10 times what you are making. In fact, those people sitting in the stand, you can throw your banana, you can throw all the stuff you want to throw. It means absolutely nothing to them. You are a working class person just like me, and you're telling a man who you pay $10 million a season. You call him.
I think it's all jealousy, like you said earlier. The fact that we're good at everything we do, I think they can't help themselves, and so the best they can do is to demean us and make us appear less than, and that makes them feel good about themselves, But hey, like you said, good ratings.
Yes, young man, Hurricane plays 19 years with the Spurs, and he didn't go to Chelsea or Man U. He left the league totally. He's in Germany. You got that right. But he is not part of the Premier League. He's not. And he's a sole loser. He's sitting over there talking about black folks, Ghana, these kinds of folks. No, he is the kind of folk. This man couldn't go anywhere. He didn't win nothing in the place. I think Robert Garguah fell on the floor. I see his camera.
I knew Robert fell down on the floor. The camera is on the floor.
I had no idea I was on. I had no idea I was on.
I'm glad you got
don't give us Jeff Tubing here, my man.
It was good you said something. I've been forgot about it a long time because I haven't been on.
I'm glad you got your I'm falling and I can't get up button. There you go. You press your I'm falling and I can't get up button. Hello, Yvonne. Welcome to the show. I'm listening. Hanu, my sister. We're looking forward to talking. Robert, welcome to the show.
I was enjoying you guys at this point.
Yes, man.
We see you, Robert. We're waiting for you, to bring your insight on your sports.
The next 15 minutes belongs to you. 8 o'clock, we are shutting this down. We're going to watch.
Yeah, that's why.
I want to watch Cape Verde play. I want to watch. Man,
you gotta say Cabo Verde. They don't want to be called Cape Verde.
Okay,
yeah, that's that name. That Cabo Verde thing don't work with us. That's what we.
I told them my Portuguese is not good, so I was still with Cape Verde.
The entire Africa calls them Cape Verde. They call themselves Cabo Verde.
Yeah,
but they got to win tonight. It's mandatory that they win tonight.
Yeah.
So they have to win. The draw would not suffice because if you look at the best teams right now, I think Senegal has 3 points, but they have I think 8, 9, or 10 goals.
Yeah.
So that might be enough to take them through. Cape Verde on the other hand does not have that many goals. So if they don't win this game tonight, they might as great as they have performed, they have not lost, but they need to win this game tonight. And I think if they they need to stop defending. This is not Spain. This is not the other team. This is a team that they can actually beat. So they can beat Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
So they need to come fighting and attack and play it to win. That's the only way they're gonna qualify. But if they're sitting thinking that they're going or draw will be enough, I don't think that's gonna be enough. DR Congo also has to win tonight.
Oh yeah, DR Congo playing tonight?
Yeah. DR Congo also they must win tonight as well. Because if they don't win tonight, it's gonna be the end of it for them.
Yeah.
So those are all 2 good games that come on in the next few minutes. So I'll definitely watching.
I'm on the World Cup on the page here. They say yes, Cape Verde can move on to the round of 32 with a draw, but Spain has to beat or draw with Uruguay. So that I think Spain is going to beat Uruguay.
Well, Uruguay might come trying to pull San Nagbe.
Of course.
So they're playing for pride at this point. So those are all great. Those are all great games.
The same thing like Ghana, right?
No, Ghana. No. Ghana currently have, I believe they have 3 points right now.
No. What I'm talking about is the mindset. You have our colonial mindset.
Right.
You're not going to come here and bully us.
Exactly.
So they will
Robert, correction. DR Congo plays tomorrow. They play Uzbekistan.
On Uzbekistan. Yeah, tomorrow. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
So guys, listen.
Ghana also plays tomorrow, right?
Ghana plays tomorrow. Yes, Ghana plays Croatia tomorrow.
Yeah, Croatia.
Croatia is a powerhouse, though.
Strong, very, very strong.
Yeah, but the entire group was a difficult group. So I think Ghana, based on how they've been playing, I think they could possibly come out with a win tomorrow. But all those teams have to win. All those teams have to win. That's the only way.
But like they say, they're going in with the mindset to win, right? like I think Cape Verde is in a better spot because unless Spain decides to just lay down and die, but I don't think they want that blemish on the record that Uruguay beat them. So even if
Uruguay is pretty solid, though. I mean,
yeah, very strong team. I mean,
yeah.
they are two-time World Cup winners. They got a tradition.
Yeah, they're good, but they just haven't performed well. That's all. But they're still a good team. Look
No,
at
they have performed. What has happened is that our African teams in the expanded setting, the African soccer has been elevated to such a level that it makes the other people seem like they're underperforming. No, they're not underperforming. We are just better.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true.
I mean, these kids, look, they are not, when we were growing up, they said, my man, you can play in the game. You're a small boy that can play in the game. So I remember talking to Sakwa Nyasia. He said he has always wanted to play for Barrow. And he went to the Barrow camp, and the people just kept telling him, "My man, you're picking. We can't let you play. You're too young to play, my man. We can." That grown man football we're playing. So he got up. He went to Sam Burnett, and they put it on the IE team, and that's all she wrote. Same thing with Sekou Gomez. Yeah. Sekou Gomez said he went to, but all these guys they were all Barrow rejects.
But I can't help but notice last night, I was kind of surprised. Tomalin announced breaking news here that Senator Finlay, Bezonga Finlay, is now going to take over Barrow. And that's your boy. I didn't hear you say anything. I didn't see you excited. I was kind of surprised.
No. I'm not excited. I told
that's a political appointment. That's a political appointment.
Not only that, I cannot cheer for my boy Bezonga Finlay when he has not performed on the home front. I don't care. Hey, Bezonga, listen, when I come to La Bassa, don't call me to the house. Don't give me the car. Don't buy me beer. You have not done anything for the Bassa people. I shouldn't say anything, but you have not performed to my expectation and to the expectation of your power and your longevity in government and your proximity to power. Bezonga is a brother.
But what is the senator protocol? Was he elected or was he appointed?
Yes. No, he was appointed. I think he was appointed.
He was no. Bezonga, right after the war, the first, I guess, whether it be the second or third republic on Madam Ellen, the first election that was held, he and Nathaniel Innes, they ran in Bassa. And it was a fierce election. And after the election, the margin was so close. So the Bassa people settled. Sen Bezonga Finlay had, I think, 2,000 vote difference. He would be the senior senator. He would serve for 9 years. And Nathaniel Innes would serve as a junior senator, and he would serve for 6 years. So then, after that, then they would get into the full rotation, which is what they did. So both of them went. They perform, and the folks said Senator Innes didn't do that well, so they didn't re-elect him. So he lost his second bid. Bezonga Finlay also, after his first 9 years, he lost his return bid. They beat him. But he came back 9 years later and reclaimed that seat. But my problem with Bezonga Finlay was the darling ball of the former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. We could have done more. He been in government. He was born in government. So when we see like the bridge in Bassa being washed away, you saw that photo, you saw that video. It is amazing that our country, that bridge is going to have a monkey bridge connecting the main university of Grand Bassa to the main city. It's just unbelievable for these guys. The bridge been broken for 8 years.
Yep, it's sad, but that's why I keep saying it's a political appointment, because now it's about who the thing have money, and I don't think, I mean, it is what it is, but based on how he's performed, what is there to think that he has what it takes to elevate Barrow? What is there? I mean,
They don't have an academy. They don't have any stadium. They have nothing of our own.
But I have to. I have to ask you. Go ahead, Rob.
No, go ahead, Mr. Nam. Go ahead.
No, I was going to ask Jerome. First of all, what was the motivation for building the university in the place that they did? When I mean, the bridge was not in the budget for this. I mean, I understand it's a beautiful spot and all of that, but why would they build a university and not put a bridge as part of the construction budget?
What happened is just like, because the land that was bequeathed to the university, 250 acres on basically a beautiful island. I mean, that island was established maybe to build hotels and everything else, and they were able to give it to the university. I think it's an excellent place. Okay, there was a bridge that was connecting the mainland to Buchanan City. Was built by Lamco in 1959 or 1960. The bridge is almost 70 years, so the bridge had a problem. It cracked. That's the bridge they were using. So when the bridge broke, the government, national government, and the local government decided to rebuild the bridge. And every year they say the money put in the budget for the bridge. The first they said was a Bailey Bridge that was being built by the American Corps of Engineers. That was what we heard in 2020. That bridge should have been delivered in 2021. 2023, when Madam Pro Tem came on, she made an announcement that she has captured the bridge in the budget. Joseph Boakai 2024, the bridge will be built. In fact, the bridge that President Weah and the CDC has paid for to be built, according to the folks in Buchanan, says she canceled it because I guess she wanted to take credit. She wanted a new bridge design where the path, the George Weah Bridge was a regular bridge, and the pedestrian path was on both sides to go in, go and come, and the center is the car. She said she wanted the bridge elevated where the pedestrian would be underneath and the car passing on top. So she canceled what was reasonably ready to go. And then last month, she told the folks the bridge will be here. The bridge is in China. We have sent our Liberian engineer to go and inspect the bridge before the bridge leaves China. And the people say, are you kidding me? You want to tell me you got engineer of that caliber to go to China and tell them how to build a bridge? Why you didn't build it here?
Right.
So when the team watch away, the folks are saying, including myself, this is the lie that our politicians tell our folk when they neglect the folks. How can you look at somebody in the face and say, some guy who is an engineer in Basel is going to China to look at those people and check whether the Chinese know how to build bridges? It just doesn't make sense. But let's, guys, listen. We are here. Let's talk about. We got a few more minutes before we go, but let's talk about this soccer thing. Robert, you are the soccer aficionado, the connoisseur. You are the man. When we say we're looking for the Dom Perignon of soccer, you know more.
No. Like when people listening now.
Let's talk about the soccer you've been seeing, the chances of our team that are remaining, and how far you think we can go with what you see.
I mean, realistically, I think of all the teams, I think Cape Verde has been the shock. They surprised us. They seem pretty strong, and they've been working together as a team. They've been putting up team performances. So how far they can go, I don't know, because again, one could argue that in the group stage you still haven't met the stronger teams. But if you survive Spain, who happened and Portugal, who happens to be amongst the favorites to win the tournament, then what other strong team are there that will scare Cape Verde? So if I'm Cape Verde, I'm looking at the teams that have already withheld, I'm thinking I can go as far as I want to go. And this is all based on their performance at this point. So they can go as far. Senegal was Africa's one of Africa's favorites. They've been a disappointment. But now that they've won the last game, if they were able to go through to the knockout stages, they could step up their performance. Morocco is, without a doubt, uh, Africa's standout performer. They have been very competitive across the board.
And
That's
consistent. And
very
consistent.
consistent. That country is on a whole different level when it comes to African football, and so so I think that they could go as far. And you know what? The fact that they went as far as the semifinals last World Cup is enough encouragement to say, listen, maybe we can make the final this time, right? So I think they can go. They can go as far. Ghana surprised me because when you look at the friendly matches that they play, similar to the U.S., they were very weak. But I think the new coach, the Portugal genius Carlos, I think he's done a pretty good job prepping them for this World Cup, and so they've came out fighting, right? And so they're also missing one of their biggest star, Kudus, Mohamed. What's his name? Kudus. I'm not saying his last name right, but I think they're missing him. He plays for Spurs in the English Premier League. So I think they can go far if they continue playing. If they continue playing at the rate that they're playing. What's the other team? DR Congo. I'm not sure what could possibly happen with those guys. I don't know. It's in the open. Anything can happen. But overall, Ivory Coast could also go far. This is the first time they've actually made it out of the group stage at a World Cup. So for them, this is a step in the right direction for them. They could go far in the knockout stages if they were to make it out of the round of 32. But generally, if you really pay attention, all of the African teams, with the exception of Tunisia, have really performed strongly.
Yeah.
Tunisia, I think, have been the disappointment, and Tunisia have always been a disappointment. I still wonder how they consistently make the World Cup, and I think it's because they've been paired with weaker teams. Liberia was in the last zone as them, Namibia, and other countries, but I think they don't deserve to be playing at the World Cup. But generally all the African teams have come up, they've improved, they've performed well, and it's indicative of the fact that most of these guys are playing in Europe, and most of the African teams have been successful at recruiting players who may not have been born in those countries, but have parents who live in France and other places
All over the world.
all over the world. Cape Verde, 99.99% of their players were not born in Cape Verde.
Nope.
They all were recruited from the Netherlands and Portugal, right? Most of them they don't play in the top leagues. They play in the USL. In the US, they play in I think one of the guys play at MLS. Some of them play in Portugal second tag. Some of them are in Romania playing in that league in Greece, right? So they're not playing.
Not anymore. When they leave from here.
It might be different now, right? It might be different. But I said that to say all of the countries these guys are playing, we've had Liberian players playing in some of these countries, right?
Yeah.
But the difference here is that Cape Verde, the leadership in Cape Verde have poured money into that team. Yeah. They've motivated those boys with cash, and they kind of look at Ghana, for instance. They're receiving $100,000 just for being called to the national team.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, in addition to bonuses. So I think that most of the African teams have really shown up, and I think they could go as far. But if you were to ask me, as far as the quarterfinals and semifinals, I'll put my money on Morocco. I will probably put my money on Ivory Coast, and last but not the least, I would probably go with Ghana. I'm not too sure with Cape Verde. I know that they're very solid, but I'm still kind of iffy about Cape Verde. I don't know what's going to happen. But Ivory Coast, Morocco, and Ghana, based on how they've performed so far, I think they could be Africa's hope.
Victor, it looks like after Cape Verde's first game and the second game, everybody have taken a page out of their book. Play defense, pick your chance, and counter play defense, because defense wins game, right?
Right.
If you are lucky and nobody scores on you, and all you need is an own goal, right? You can go in there, go there. That's all you need.
It's
If
true. I mean,
Cape Verde scores on you, it's almost over.
over. They packed the box. I saw that with the Ivorian game too.
Everybody taking a pace.
Yeah, once they score that goal, they come and everybody in the box, so it's hard to get through. Yeah, maybe that's the way to go.
Of course.
Yeah, but I listen to Robert. I don't, I don't disagree with what he's saying. I don't know. I didn't follow these teams, so I don't really have much to offer. But I think he's right. Ivory Coast looks very sharp. Ghana looks pretty sharp too. Cabo Verde, we were just saying that they look sharp too. Morocco is it's up there, and South Africa is finally finding their way, I think. Yeah. So it'll be interesting. Group of 32. It will be very interesting. But as we all know here, Jerome, playoff is a different animal. You can, teams go here throughout the season. The best teams, you get in the playoffs. Sometimes you get swept. By the team that didn't do so well in the regular season.
This one you don't have to worry about being swept. It's one and done.
You're done. You out.
You're done. Go home. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
So I think I like the. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, the birth of defense that Cape Verde introduced into African soccer. This thing about one man beating five men and holding the ball. No. Those days are over. You barely see one man holding the ball and doing all kinds of foolishness like we used to do. These guys, look. I see these young men started offense from the back. Can you imagine right in front of your goal, you passing the ball? That has to be confidence in what you do to do that.
And I think that's how they score on Haiti, if not one of the teams. I think that's the ball to the goalkeeper, and the goalkeeper missed it.
Yeah, but that's what European football does, and
that's correct.
You can't hit on that. This is the reason why.
And it's good. When they score one goal on you, it is over, because the defense, to crack the defense, even Harry Kane was so upset with the Ghanaian defensive strategy. He has to make a complete fool of himself, because the Ghanaian gave them the medicine, their own dose, the dose of their own medicine, packed it back, control the game with confidence, and strike when possible. He couldn't stand it. He decided to be racist at the end.
Yeah.
But yes, Robert, your friend Hurricane said.
Yeah, that's the counter-attacking. That's the counter-attacking football. But that's what I was saying earlier. That's what European football does. It gives you a whole different perspective on what being a professional is. You see what I'm saying? And that's why a lot of the folks want to go to Europe to play in Europe. South Africa has one of the most competitive professional league in Africa. The PSL, the South African Premier League, is one of the best. They pay some of the best. I think second to them is the Egyptian league. But when you look at the national team, you see that they're not very competitive. And you know what? A bulk of those players play in the PSL. They don't play in Europe. 99.99% of the South African team don't play in Europe. I think they have maybe a handful of players that are playing in Europe, but a whole lot of them don't play in Europe, and they've been consistent like that. Benny McCarthy was one of the most popular, South African players who play in Europe, and then you got this guy called, what's his name, Mark Fish. He was one of the guys that also kind of put South Africa in the international scene when it comes to club football. But most of them play in the PSL, and they're very competitive, but they've not been able to transfer that into a competitive national team. But let's go watch the game, man. Let's go.
Before you throw it down, you talked about the African teams. I wanted you to give a global perspective now. Which of the teams is impressing you the best? I mean, The USA last night, I think they gave me a lot of second thoughts. But then you got Mexico out there, they're hot as fire. You got Argentina. You have these other teams. So what do you think? Let's go. Maybe let's not go to the final yet. Let's get out of the 32.
Yeah, let's get out of 32.
Go to the 16.
But the US, I think mentally and morally, I think that game yesterday was not good.
Yeah.
And by the way, the US have never won 3 games in the group stages. So yesterday was supposed to be historic. To win the group and do it historically by winning your first 3 games in the group stage. So they kind of messed that up last night. But what gives me hope is that team that performed yesterday had 9 changes to the original starting 11. My only disappointment is Timothy Weah should have been in that starting 11. And when he started yesterday, he didn't have a good game yesterday, right? But that could morally mess with them going into the knockout stage. But if they came fighting like they did the first 2 games, you could see a different Team USA doing the round of 32. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think Argentina, you would expect them to be up there in the semifinals. Spain, before the tournament started, you would expect them to be out there. Look at Germany, for instance. All these are all big countries. France they're making noise, right? So they might be up there too. So we got to see what happened round of 32. But what I can say when it comes to African countries, some of these African countries might surprise us. I'm telling you, the way these guys have performed and how athletic they are, these guys might shock us. Morocco is going out there. Ivory Coast, all of these countries, Ghana, they might shock us. So my favorite performing team right now have to be Cape Verde.
Of course. I mean,
but none of that would matter, though. None of that would matter if they don't win tonight.
That's correct. Because I would listen to NPR, okay? And if you make it on NPR, if they feature you, this is not a soccer, this is not ESPN. We know if NPR say that Cape Verde is the darling of the world, not only that people expected them to only show up to say we're happy for being here, but that's not the attitude they got. They are here to win.
To compete, absolutely.
To compete and win. You like it or not, they don't care.
They're going to impose their will.
Yeah, I mean, they are not going to be intimidated. They are not going to be intimidated by your star power and all of that. But guys, listen, we got to go watch the game.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, guys.
Let's do this again on Monday, guys.
Okay.
Have a good weekend.
You too. Have a good weekend.